handcuffed in my own driveway for driving a Rolls-Royce day one in this supposed slice of suburban paradise. The HOA president lost her mind over my car, called the cops, filmed me like I was public enemy number one, then hammered me with $700 in fines for having a ride that was apparently too nice for the neighborhood. Wildest part, I built my business from zero, working 16-hour days, and now I'm treated like a criminal just for making it. But she picked the wrong guy to mess with. I don't run from bullies, I turn the tables. That's how the whole neighborhood got flipped upside down, and honestly, you'll want to stick around for how this madness ends. I still remember the sun bouncing off that pristine Rolls-Royce Phantom the first time I rolled into Crestview Heights. Every lawn was so perfect you'd swear the grass had been cut with scissors and the hedges. Well, let's just say the landscaper was probably one bad day away from snapping. The plan was to celebrate success, not get thrown into a local HOA war. But I parked in my driveway, and instantly I could feel eyes on me, neighbors peeking out their windows, pretending to water plants that didn't need it, making up reasons to walk past my house. Before I could even get my bags out, Tina, blonde hair designer, yoga pants, too much energy for a Tuesday, struts over with a big welcome grin. "Just a friendly heads up," she whispers. "Watch out for Barbara. She runs this place like her own kingdom, and if she thinks you don't fit her mold, you're in for it." Thought she was joking. Spoiler, she wasn't. Right on cue, I spotted Barbara Stanton, hair like a helmet, notebook in hand, staring daggers at my car from 50 feet away. She had that "can I speak to the manager" face you see in retail horror stories. And she was jotting something down so aggressively I was surprised her pen didn't snap. Old Harold, kind guy, popped up behind me and muttered, "That's Barbara. She ousted half the board. Last year she tried to ban the Johnsons' BMW for being too flashy. When they pushed back, she hired private security just to harass them until they moved." It sounded insane, but the way people tiptoed around her, I believed it. I figured I'd at least try to be friendly. Walked up, introduced myself, all smiles. "Hi, I'm Ethan, just moved in." She didn't shake my hand, just glared at the Rolls and said, "That car is an eyesore. Park it in your garage and consider driving something more appropriate." She spat out appropriate like I'd just rolled up in a clown car with a foghorn. But I'd read the bylaws. There was nothing about cars, just basic maintenance rules. The second I said that, she turned purple. The battle lines were drawn. Within an hour, there was an orange violation sticker on my windshield, $200 fine for improper parking, then another $500 for disruptive display of wealth. I stood there with both slips in my hands, thinking of my mom's face years ago when our old station wagon broke down outside the country club she cleaned. She told me, "Never let them make you feel small." I looked over at Barbara, who was practically vibrating with smugness, and thought, well, Mom, not today. By that evening, Barbara had rallied her fan club, gossiping about how people like me didn't belong. But I wasn't going to fold, and it turned out I wasn't alone. Tina kept dropping by, always with new intel. Then there was Roger, the quiet numbers guy, and Sophie, the young designer who hinted that the HOA's finances were a mess. The twist, Sophie had decorated Barbara's office, and let's just say she noticed some pretty interesting paperwork lying around. But Barbara wasn't just about fines. She tried character assassination next. The very next day, a grainy video surfaced online, supposedly showing my car speeding through the neighborhood and nearly hitting a stop sign. Problem, the timestamp showed I was in an HOA meeting at the time and my dashcam hadn't moved an inch. Tina called it out as fake, but Barbara deleted her comment and amped up the drama. "We must protect our children from this reckless behavior." The neighbors started whispering. Someone left a note on my door about safety. At the grocery store, 2 women were openly speculating if I was in something shady. It was ridiculous and infuriating. Officer Bennett, the local cop, stopped by. Turns out Barbara files bogus complaints all the time. I showed him the dashcam footage, and he just shook his head, said last week she tried to report a neighbor for illegal business activity because they got 2 Amazon deliveries. But after he left, Barbara started watching me like a hawk, flaunting a designer purse that cost more than some people's cars. "Retired bank manager, my foot." Then came the hate mail block letters on my windshield. "Get out or else. We don't need your kind here." Barbara watched me read it with a grin. That's when Harold started opening up about all the families Barbara had forced out with fines and fake violations, wrong color flowers, wrong type of grass, you name it. The most shocking, the security company she hired to follow a family for a week just because they threw a reunion. It wasn't about rules, it was about control. Soon, things escalated. My planters were smashed. "Get out" was spray painted on my fence, and my security cameras caught someone in a ski mask moving with a limp that looked awfully familiar doing the deed. I didn't confront Barbara right away, though. That's what she wanted. Instead, I documented everything and called the cops. Officer Bennett could only do so much without direct evidence, but he advised me to install more cameras. Meanwhile, Sophie hinted she had dirt on Barbara, maybe more than dirt. At the next HOA meeting, I laid out my case with receipts. Patterns of fines, targeted harassment, documented vandalism, and financial irregularities. Roger backed me up with spreadsheets, Harold with bylaw changes, Tina live streaming it all. Barbara blew up, calling it a witch hunt. She threatened to ruin me, even as people started sharing their own stories. Garden gnomes, doormats, all the petty tyranny. Then, mid-meeting, her purse spilled open, and out rolled a USB drive. Roger grabbed it, cracked the password, Barbara of course, and up popped years of HOA finances showing tens of thousands skimmed off for administrative expenses. The whole room erupted. It was the best show in town. Barbara lost it, claimed she deserved the money for her hard work, screamed about conspiracies, and tried to pin it all on me. How does a guy your age afford a Rolls-Royce? Tina shut her down. He owns a coffee chain, lady. Maybe Google it. The police arrived. Barbara went out in cuffs, and suddenly the neighborhood was free. Turns out Sophie was the whistleblower. She'd gathered evidence during her design gig after Barbara cost her a huge contract out of spite. Roger, the numbers guy, city manager, undercover, waiting for someone to take Barbara down from inside. And suddenly, my little crime scene driveway was the center of a viral story. Tina's live stream hit 50,000 viewers. People took selfies with my car, and the neighborhood threw a block party to celebrate. We burned Barbara's surveillance files in a bonfire. The forbidden gnome got its own pedestal. The infamous doormat was hung like a trophy, and people started actually talking like neighbors again. I was elected HOA president with Harold as my VP, and the first thing I did was slash the rule book down to 10 simple pages. Keep your place up, be decent, and mind your own business. Suddenly, everyone was smiling at meetings, and even families who'd left stopped by to say hi. Sophie's business was booming. People got discounts from legit contractors, and Barbara's face on the local news became the poster child for petty tyranny gone wrong. Funny thing, Barbara's final act was an apology letter blaming everyone but herself, swearing she'd return to save us. I tossed it in the fire pit and raised a beer to my mom's old advice: stand tall, fight smart, don't let 'em see you sweat. The house she once dreamed of cleaning was now my home, and nobody was going to make me feel small ever again. Roger handed me an invite to the city council. There are bigger battles out there, Ethan. Maybe there are. For now, I'm just glad the right person ended up in handcuffs. So what do you think? Did Barbara get what she deserved, or is there more to come? Drop your take below. Whose side are you on, and how would you handle a neighborhood tyrant? Let's hear it.